Ah. Ah. Okay. Man. To be fair, I have to say that after all, there's so many different things, so many like weird things going on with all of it. Like, with like the entirety of the start of the stream. Okay, let me quickly check a couple things. Okay. Let me just put in this thing real quick. Also, oh, okay, that's cool of Twitter. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's really damn cool. Yep. Okay. And let's send notifs on the servers. Okay. All that up. Okay. Alright. Okay. Actually, I think we might have a little bit to play with. With like those how are these called? We might actually have some couple fun simulators to play. I've literally got a barbecue simulator. That's funny. Okay, so basically I think there's going to be one thing at a certain point. I'm going to actually keep it off. Keep it off of like this illustration for a while again, though I'm going to, as a matter of fact, continue working on it. I'm going to continue working on it mostly on the background, because I believe we're actually going to complete Burnice really quickly, and we'll see how much time we'll have to spend. Like, I believe the most time we've had to spend on Piper, because she's like in a very specific position that requires a lot of attention. Okay. Yeah, that's actually much better. Let's also add some shadow here. Should work. We finished this. Okay, I guess this is time to start working on those. So, as I've mentioned, actually, we're really close to finishing this illustration anyway. It's just I don't really want to keep it on streams for a really long time. Though it would be cool because I could just take it all up and just throw it directly into the... how's it called now? So I could just take it all up and make a speed paint out of it too. If it would be directly on my streams, you know? So that's the part that I'm kinda wondering about, because I can actually do it. Okay. It's one part. There's actually also a lot of like line art corrections, so I feel that in the future when we're going to take care of another illustrations, it's actually going to take really a lot of work on the line art itself. Because of course, since it's taking so long, I believe this is something I have to start paying more attention to lower the amount of time that I have to spend on it. And I've noticed that a lot of time I'm spending on correcting my line art, which is not really good. So I'm thinking about either getting really messy with my style when it comes to the line art, or going with a... how to say this now? Or just simply going with a better solution of making my line art. Hope you also like this, some sort of like my self criticism that I'm looking up on right now. I tend to do that every now and then when I'm talking about my own artworks. This is something that I've been struggling a little bit too, because I do tend to talk about my issues, about my mistakes. It might sound like I'm really like toxic for myself, but as a matter of fact, I'm just pointing out issues that I have, which I just kind of note what I have to work on. This is something I've talked about already too. This is something that quite a few artists are not really doing, right? It's generally, so to say, put up with me just talking about the illustrations. So no matter like if, you know, even if I like the illustration, I kind of still notice a couple issues. I still like tend to talk about them. This is most likely how actually you can progress the fastest. Generally by noticing and observing your own methods and pointing out issues with them. So like, you know, for example, my construction, my facial expressions, my like the general like character proportions are good, my shading seems to be good, right? Wait, did I exchange the thing? No, I didn't. There we go. sorry. So basically the main thing for the illustration that I might be struggling with a little bit is actually just straight up the way how fast I'm drawing. This is something that I've been thinking about really a lot, especially lately. Here's why. If I'm drawing fast, I can, for example, finish more illustrations. If I can finish more illustrations, that means I can not only, you know, just build my, you know, portfolios, or just on streams be able to jump between all the illustrations really fast because I'm completing them so quickly. The thing is that based on what I've noticed for many different artists on YouTube, they actually tend to not really work on one illustration constantly over and over again on their YouTube channel. They are just also working on those illustrations off streams, right? So they are, for example, taking up an illustration, they are drawing it, it's all cool and dandy, and they are just completing it, for example, on the stream or off stream, and they're on the stream, they're starting a new illustration, and that's it. That's generally the main idea behind all of it. Right? So if you actually want to speed up working on some illustrations, I might need to do the same thing, though I don't want to, because again, I want to keep the entire process on streams, because you never know what's going to be useful for someone. And I quite often just think about like, oh, this illustration can be cool, and it might actually, I don't know, show someone some cool trick or something like that. This is more or less how I've been thinking about when it comes to my illustrations. And yeah, it's very difficult to think about it, because either hey, I can make, I don't know, 10-20 illustrations during the month, or I'm going to actually make one illustration a month, or over the course of 2 months, and or even 3, and just you know, the entire process is going to be on streams. I know it's like this illustration is going to be really darn it might actually be already like too much of one illustration. I do start to feel the same way. Like I do have a feeling like I really could go for drawing something else, but overall this is how it looks like. This is actually what the artistic process looks like. This is how it actually works. You sit down and you draw until it's finished, right? If it's for, you know, done like once, twice a day, right? Like you just sit down and draw. Hi Skylar, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope how's going? How have you been? Kisses. Kisses and hugs. How are you? I miss you. I miss you too. How have you been? Been a long time since I've seen you last time. I've got worried. Hope you haven't felt bad during the stream or anything like this. So yeah, as I was saying, basically I'm really struggling between like picking up the like general middle ground between how much I want to show during the stream, if I want to show always the entire process or if I want to show just some process while I'm also working on the same illustration off stream, or how exactly do we go about some things. It's just, I don't know, it's really difficult for me. Actually, today I've been also getting some groceries with my mom, so it was fun. We had some laugh. That's why actually there was no 2 PM stream today, because I've actually went to the groceries with my mom at 2 PM. So yeah. Hey, okay. So that's that. I think we've got most of it now already. That's cool. Also, you can spot one difference. I'm not really like coloring every single thing. I'm not really doing much left and right here. And just generally trying my best to work and cooperate with a couple things. There we go. Okay, so this is yet another thing here that I'm kind of going to struggle with. Like the ambient occlusion on the gloves. Because like theoretically the ambient occlusion should be, I think, kind of covering most of it all. Kind of like this, maybe? Yeah, probably. I'm trying to also like make really smooth shading with like as few lines as possible, because I have this like 50% opacity brush, so it's like creating gradients for me automatically, right? I just need to make even those scratchy lines, and that should be enough. I'm really hoping that Nihoyo is going to like it. Okay, so one of these is done. And again, the line art. Messy line art. This is something that is really bothering me. I really have to fix the way how I'm making line arts, or stop caring about how messy my line arts can get and actually let them be. I feel like messy line art is giving my art style some, you know, some tooth, if that makes sense, like some it makes it more alive, I guess, because like some lines can be thicker and really distorted with like how much actually gets to be in the line, etc. This is like, you know, like actual realistic vision on depth and stuff with like my line arts. So that's also something that kinda makes this messiness cool. Decisions. I mean, to be fair, like, I'm still talking about this, despite like I've said that my style is already established. It is established, but just because the style is established, it doesn't mean it doesn't need some corrections. So this is the thing. Like, I know the way that my art style has to be, and you can see that my style is now like kind of same for every artwork, which is something that is, you know, very crucial for this style. But there are still things that I kind of feel like I could exchange, you know, like add some more pizzazz to some portions of it. So that's it. So yeah. Tomorrow we might actually play Pokemon again. It was fun. We were like really close on getting to the middle game, so why not? Also, I'm going to work just a little bit on my project and probably record first portion of the playthrough. You know, that's the one I've talked about. Okay. Alright, these also are going to cast the shadow. It kinda hit me when I started like drawing around the other thingy. Yeah, there we go. It's like going here, so this portion needs to be like this. And that's receiving shadow. That. Yeah, this is why actually I thought that Burnice is going to be much simpler with shading. Like, realistically speaking, most of her jacket is going to be in shadow because of the way how it all is actually lit up. I'm almost there to get the PD Zenless on 0 for the new character. I've had so much points and I thought that I'm going to keep them up for next character, but unfortunately it was stronger than me. I saw way too many bonuses of having her. But I'm going to, I guess, keep on lighter and get the another character. I'm hoping that actually the lighter is going to be the next character. I'm just hoping this is going to be it. And apparently there's going to be one more character that's supposed to be three? That's supposed to be 3 unit. I think I've heard about it on stream, actually. Someone told me on stream about this. So that unit is from that team that we are slowly building. And I've seen his abilities already, so Actually, if he's a free unit, I do want to have Minabe and, well, generally all the characters. Okay, let's remember that she actually has leather jacket. Leather is really shiny material. It kind of looks slightly plasticky, so to say. Hi Kimo, how are you? Hope your night is going. Cutely appears. Aww. Aww. How have you been? Good, how are you? Doing alright. Just been chilling today. Went for some groceries, been, you know, have actually had some fun with my mom. Got some snackos to munch on and other things. Fun? Not allowed. JK. I've been actually working on a couple things, mostly cracking my head over some things connected with commissions. Especially yours, so soon I should start like doing some updates on those. You know, catching up with people. Needed a moment actually, because like, you know, work and shit. I can actually, if everything is going to be good, I might actually become a DTP graphic designer. So it's like, you know, a typical graphic designer, like doing the banners, logos and shit. So yeah, I'm really trying my best to find something, especially with graphics, because I want to run away from the thing. Language? Oh, sorry. So yeah, like I'm really trying to like change my really bad and toxic job. It's not worth the money they are paying. They're paying too little based on what they are doing there. Like literally, you know, giving people you know, freaking notes, papers, whatever, for nothing. Hi Target, got over here, how are you? Hope has going. Logically, Harumase will have a 100% chance to have perfect synergy of Sokaku, as he will either have faction synergy, support synergy like Zuyen, or both. I see. I have Sokaku. I think Sokaku on my list is like 2 out of 6? Like, I think Sokaku got like 2 out of 6 cinema. Be right back. Alrighty. So yeah. Can't wait for the Harumasa, and I really want the Thunder MILF. And in addition, Harumasa might be given away for free to those who play during his banner, like Dr. Ratio from Honkai. I see. Damn. I've actually got Nightboo maxed. I just need to give him levels. I have a level 50 Nightboo, same mate, same, and I have it on max, like maxed out with the stars, so yeah. So yeah, like I do try to still get the freaking characters on the banner, you know, like still do. I've actually finished the entirety of the Arpeggio Fruit thingy, and I've managed to actually complete almost the new event, so I'll actually have to come back to like direct searching for other methods of receiving the summoning points. So yeah, I'm actually hyped. Can't wait. Eight days and the current banner is going away. Yikes. So I'm just, you know, still trying to do as much as possible. I'm starting my night shifts again, so it's going to be it's going to be again like difficult to do anything. I mean, it's going to be actually much easier to do anything because to be fair, I'm more destroyed with my, you know, like with my energy and stuff after morning shifts, because like I have the entire day of work behind me, and you know, instead of like be capable to do anything else, I'm just sitting there like a freaking mindless zombie. So that's that. I don't know. Like this shirt should be like 100% in shadow, I think. I don't wanna. Like this? Yeah, I think like this, and this part would just have to be, you know, like really well blended here. Bounce light. To give her breast some voluptuousness, I guess. It kind of looks like a marble. You know, the shadow here. It's not how it's supposed to look like. It's very chaotic. And definitely not neat as it's supposed to be. Okay. This is why actually I'm always saying that shadows are one of the more difficult ones. No matter how like experienced you are, shadows are always going to cause you troubles. Everyone is, you know, dissing shadows because these like shadows are so illogical. You can't really get like logical explanation for shadows. Shadows appear where the light can't reach much, but what do you mean it can't reach certain areas if light is omnipresent? Like generally, if there would be no light, everything like would be invisible. Like everything would be black. We wouldn't see anything. Like imagine that everything would like be almost instantly covered with Vanta black paint. So if we are speaking about something that is omnipotent, like not reaching certain areas, how can it be? Then what can be the actual role for the shadow? Like what, just shadow that is caused by occlusion of set of items? But that's only shadow, like shadow occlusion or whatever. The occlusion is like ambient occlusion is actually not restricted as the only light. There's far more, like, it's not restricted as the only kind of shadow. There's far more different shadows. But like, why is it? Like, you know, half shadow, full shadow, shadow, like, there's just so many of those. And every single thing, like, every single, like, changes in your shadows on the artwork can cause like different meaning, you know? So if you, for example, you mess your shadows, it's visible because it's like, you know, like shadows are more or less a main structure of your artwork. So like shadows are causing that your artworks actually, you know, have this illusion of being quote-unquote 3D. It's giving you, it's helping you create this you know, fake idea that there is actually something over certain, like over a different object. So if that's the case, then like how can we actually determine what shadow goes where? That's why it's a lot of people are just going with their imagination because they can, like, but like, you know, I cannot, so I have to kind of find logic between things. And that's why, just because shadows are always so illogical for me, it's actually the only reason why shadows are always so hated by me. And surprisingly, a lot of different artists are actually experiencing aphantasia, not only me. So like, you know, some don't even know that aphantasia works, that there is something like aphantasia, like still up to this day, because it was like, it's not really talked about. Like nobody talks about aphantasia. It's just the fact that in 2016 some scientists like discovered that some people can't see in their heads images, right? So like the information never really got into people. Like it kind of got lost over time. Like for example in 2016 I still had no idea that it was a thing, and I was actually reading a lot about like psychology and human brain and stuff. Far more than how much I read today. So this is actually like really darn riddle, like a real riddle for me. How can I, what kind of logic I can take behind the shadows? Like so far the only thing that kind of helps me and supports me is like, for example, making balls like this. Where do I want the light hit from? Oh, from here, okay. And considering that the light hits from here, I can actually establish shadows for everything else. And there are like, you know, really illogical shapes like this one, and then the fun begins, because you can't really determine how those are going to work in the shadows, because they're, so to say, really not of a united form, but rather really deformed. Because like, you know, she's mid-air, so like because of like her breasts are also like kind of affected separately by the gravity. you look at this artwork, and when she's flying, there's like gravity and like like more physics to it, etc. So it's actually starting to really get on the nerves, and after a while, when you're like trying to figure things out for yourself. Yeah, I wouldn't say that there's going to be many shadows here. Yeah. Like this one should be really darn dark. I actually haven't really done much things I thought I'm going to do. I've got myself, though, an oil that's supposed to help me relax a little bit. It's like, you know, pseudo medicine, some kind of thing like that. It's like packed with couple like herbs that's supposed to like make me chill out a little. I don't know, I'm really hoping that this is going to help me. Mm. Okay. There's going to be far more issues now because of this plane. I'm actually wondering if in certain places there is needed line art. Maybe I could skip it, but then it's going to interfere with the anime style. I'm starting to think a bit too much about like things that can potentially strive the actual style away, you know? Okay. Actually, this shadow kind of works. It's still more of a how to say this? It's still more of a like very rigid, very specific kind of shadow. So that's good, that's good. It's like very messy. But actually, if your shadows and your line art looks messy, wouldn't that make your entire artwork just like one huge mess? This is something I am worried about. Like, I was always like trying to draw as neat as possible. But like, the more I'm drawing with this style, the more I'm starting to notice that actually messiness can help like more. Hi Dad, glad to have you here. How are you? Hope how's going? Long time no see, buddy. How have you been? So yeah, like the messiness starts to work a little bit better for certain portions, but like I tend to do overkill on a couple things. I've been good. How about you? Been doing good. Been doing good. Had a lot of rest recently. That's good. Hi Ghostly, got over here. How are you? Hope how's going? I like having a more messy style. I find it not only helps it be easier to draw things, but makes it more personal, if that makes sense. Also, yeah, that's exactly what I've been thinking about when I was looking at the messiness of some styles. Like, it gives the artwork personality, but then again, if for example my shadows are messy and my line art is messy, isn't that making the entire artwork just mess? You know what I'm saying? This is something I'm really like scared of, because I want to kind of push some things through, like, you know, strafe more into everything. That's a mood, yeah. But yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. Like, I want to make for sure also another artwork. Not sure if it's going to be an illustration, probably a character art, which is going to be more messy. This is something I'll be trying to get in. Also, hey, Dad, Ghostly, haven't seen you in a while. What about you? How have you been? This far? You're good, thanks for asking. Also switch to Twitch. Hi, yeah, I understand. YouTube can actually be such a dick when it comes to like hiding things. I've been good, trying to get some art inspo back, cause I've been wanting to draw ICC. Actually I've made some time ago a realistic artwork. I mean, quote unquote realistic, right? Like in my older oil painting style, which is like something I haven't really touched in a while. I was like, you know, I've had some issues with like, you know, struggling with the work and stuff. I actually really like the way how I've done fingernails on it. I haven't really been doing much fingernails, but actually this is something that came in with a bunch of other things from my anime style. So this is actually really cool, really darn cool. That's cool, yeah. So to be fair, kinda my anime art style is like helping me to also get better at my realism. And I want to like make a set of like realistic drawings, paintings even. Is it bad I still wanna eat the art? No, no, not at all. Lines are so hard to draw, I love the way you did it, E. I've been actually drawing a lot of flames, like after all Devis is quite often portrayed with flames, so any artwork with Devis always had flames around. So I've had like really hard time learning how to make flames because, like, you know, I just wanted to always get them good. Flames are one of those things that are really difficult because not because of how they are colored, because it's just, you know, 3 colors, but how they are acting. If you are not catching up the way how flames can act, which is unpredictable movement, right? So this is the issue. If you are kind of trying to get unpredictable movement on paper, it's most likely not going to come out. The emotion of them and still getting the lighting right. Yeah, exactly. So like, that's why art is very interesting, because sometimes you have to be able to catch, to like predict unpredictable movement to make something look really natural. Without it, it's going to look fake. This is one of the issues I've been struggling for a really long time when I was getting into drawing. Like, how can I actually draw something unpredictable and predict its behavior, making it look like it's unpredictable? This is when I've read about the illusion of art. So like, how artworks are illusions instead of actually, like, so to say, the way to portray certain things. When you are drawing, for example, like nature things, like shadow, light, trees, like placement of trees or fire, all of those things are unpredictable. All of those things are very like, you know, made just so we wouldn't be able to really know where something is going to grow. Like you have no idea where the let's say mushrooms are going to grow if, for example, you are not going to plant them there, right? Let's say, because of course it's like certain rule that they might be somewhere under the trees, most likely, or on the trees, or like on different things generally. But like, you can't really predict where the mushroom is going to grow, like, not at all. It's just, you know, the thing, like, it starts raining, and after the rain the mushroom just comes out in a random place, and this randomness is actually something that we have to kind of learn how to make a illusion of. So you could kind of see how I've been doing this. Like, the general idea is like how big of, like, for example, let's bring it back, like how big the burning thing is going to be, right? So like, we have a fire. Yeah, trying to make nature look natural is difficult. I fuck it up a lot, then it just looks man-made and weird. Yeah, exactly. This is why we have to learn how to make those illusions. We have to learn how nature acts. How does it act? You have a set of rules that they kind of go with. So a lot of trees, bushes and stuff is going to be in one cluster. Do you know why? Because like, when seed falls off of the tree, it falls like nearby the tree, right? So you have a tree that is going to be like, let's say, middle of the cluster. This is how you can actually bring things in. This is, I'm actually telling you like how I'm looking at this. So I have like a tree in the middle of it, right? In the middle of the cluster. And then I'm just starting to build around it and like try to determine when it's ending, right? So we have tree, next to the tree is going to be another tree, yada 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 yada. So it's like building up everything. So you have this set of trees, right? Considering that you have this set of trees, you have this set of bushes, you have also tall grass. So of course, like, grass is everywhere as long as there's like path that you want to add. So like, you can just throw grass anywhere. Random flowers, like, the idea is also the same, like flowers are going to also grow in clusters. So you can kind of say that nature works in clusters. So we have same thing here, right? Like this huge part is one cluster, this is a cluster, this is a cluster, this is a cluster, this is a cluster, so on, so on, so on, so on. So considering that we know now how exactly this clustering works, we can start to like give it a motion. Like trees are going to move also, right? The wind, much other things, right? So fire is like you can kind of say that fire has no weight. So as long as it's not like, let's say, moved with a motion, it's going to just go up. You can just like kind of try to lit a match and look how the match is going to act. So as long as you are not moving it left to right, no matter how the rotation goes, it's always like sticking up, right? So as long as there is nothing that is interfering with it, it's like always going up. Now looking at this artwork, you can see that the person is like, you know, moving and stuff, like, right? Like, of course it's on fire, of course it's going to move. So like the general idea is like those flames are actually kind of like a line of motion, right? So you can see that how I've made it like this, right? This arm goes like that, it's like he's moving around, this shoulder is like going this way, this arm is like kinda like squeezing towards his chest, same here, same with the head, right? So this, you can see how with this line of movement of the person the fire goes around, right? So this is how you can actually make an illusion of unpredictable motion. There are always some kind of rules that you can attach to certain things, even to unpredictableness of the nature, right? So again, fire is like always sticking up as long as there's something that is like dragging the main, some sort of like core of the fire, right? So the core of the fire is, for example, like this point or this point, right? Like same here. So like we have the arms, all those limbs like moving around, and they are dragging this core of the flame, and because of the core of the flame is being dragged, the flames are like following it, but of course there's like some sort of a weight, like some sort of a flowing in the air, kinda, right? So like one of the better options that you can go for is actually like trying to understand it based on the matches, for example, and it's going to be always the same rule. So if you are trying to, let's say, make a fire camp, the fire is just going to go up. There's nothing else. Of course you can like then make things more interesting, add some wind, right? Some characters' hairs are flowing, the fire is kind of flowing, the trees are slowly moving, right? So you're adding the idea that from, let's say, from the west there's some kind of wind. And what can it give you? Like you can, on the west you can give like very like dark character with like red eyes, and like you just see the silhouette. So it's like starting to give in the not only the lines of focus to that characters, just to bring the eyes towards this character, but also like it's like the idea, oh, there's a wind, there's like something going on with that, like wind is going from that part, right? Like for example in Puss in Boots, where Puss in Boots was like fighting against the death, you could, in every scene where the death was arriving, you've had the wind blowing from the direction from where the death is coming. This is exactly kind of the same feeling that I've more or less described. It's like, you know, there's this like idea that still you might have how to say this, there's like still a rule that you can assign to, for example, bring also attention and give more idea to the idea of the artwork to the person. Love that movie, but yeah, I see it now. So yeah, it's like, it's not really that difficult. Some people might actually miss out of portions of like the idea because they don't really catch up this thing, because they've never really thought about it. But if you actually sit down and start thinking about stuff like artistically, you start to be able to actually assign rules to nature. Because of course nature has its own rules. Gravity, for example, like behavior of plasma, behavior of water, behavior of solids, right? So like also photons, like the way how photons are working, so bounce light, subsurface scattering, etc, etc, etc. If like, I really enjoy art because of one thing. It's like, you know how kids just love to like look around, ask about things, they are just curious about everything. It's the wonder that we kind of lose over time because we think that we've met everything. But when we are on when we get into art and we start like observe, you just sit down, you look around you and try to like understand what's really going on around you, understand the nature, understand the laws of physics, understand like the world you are in, right? The concept of time, of space, etc. It's like really, I know it might sound really philosophical, but as a matter of fact, I have to say that it really brought a very specific like ideation, how I'm looking at everything. It does help me to actually feel good in the world I'm in. It kind of makes me happy when I can sit down and, you know, understand couple things in a day, because of course it's not like I'm going to be able to understand everything in a matter of time. Also, I don't have like constant access to, let's say, I don't know, like nuclear physicist or like any other person, like biologist or anything, that will actually be able to describe how things are working. Like, for example, that's why all of artists and like scenario writers and stuff are communicating with actual like scientists for their works. Like, for example, comic book artists, like you can see how all of ideations of certain powers are actually based on the actual like concept of nature and how it would actually work if such power would exist. So let's say controlling gravity. If you would raise the gravity, you would be able to also like create like black hole or tear fabric of reality, create like, you know, time and space portals and stuff, just because you're like causing, with the gravity you are like causing everything to like rupture, right? Also, you would be able to create like lens with gravity, making the photons to actually gather around certain area and create literally a freaking sun dev beam over your enemy or something like that. So all of that was like, all of that had to be actually first like talked through with scientists to actually not really make things that make no sense. If we don't really understand anything, we want to learn it, right? This is why artists actually can know a lot about certain topics, especially when they are like certain topics that are not even connected with art itself, or even like anatomy and stuff. Because, for example, let's say you're a comic book artist, right? And you're sitting down and like trying to comprehend certain fields that you want to put into your comic book. So of course you're starting to read about it, and the more you're reading about it, the more understanding you have, the more information you have, the more wisdom you about this topic you can actually share. This is why it's so beautiful, because like, you know, I love learning new things. Like that's why also why I'm like why I want to learn, for example, how to code in C#, because I want to make my own video game. But like, why bother if I can just sit down and make a game in RPG Maker MZ or Pixel Game Maker MV? That sounds so fun though. Yeah. So like, if you, for example, see, it's like something that a lot of people don't want to spend time on because it doesn't really sound fun. But like, try to at least like sit down just to check, right? Just to check. Try to sit down, read about like random thing you want to learn about. For your character. So for example, sit down and try to come up with an idea for a character and their power. And like try to assign where this power belongs to. So for example, let's say I want to create a character which is going to have a power, let's say like a magic that is going to be really assigned with fire, right? So you want to start thinking like what kind of fire we are talking about. Are we talking like generally about plasma or just fire? Like of course fire is still plasma, but let's say if we start to like, since we've assigned fire to be a plasma already, wouldn't it be also cool that the character would use more powers, like actually using like plasma itself? So it starts to open more fields, right? The character is controlling plasma, not just fire. So it's fire, thunder, and much other things that are like just plasma. It's like pure energy generally. And you are starting to actually develop more and more and more and more and more. It's like really cool. And like, then it's like, okay, is it too much? Yes, it is. So you start to split this into like different things. Okay, so it's a magic, it's using plasma. It's not pure energy. Just like the concept of like of something that can be pseudo-physical, fire, thunder, whatever, right? So it's starting to like, you're starting to limit this, but you're starting to actually read more about those things, and you're like starting to stretch them to make them more sense and connect them to each other. And this is how I've actually made the concept of the magic for my RPG game, right? This is exactly how it went. This is exactly my process on everything. I'm sitting down and trying to like reconsider a couple things, I'm reading about things. It's called doing your homework. If you want to, for example, get into a professional level, right? You really want to start reading, you really want to start like bringing this concept of wonder into your artwork, into your like style of ideation. Without it, it's still going to work, but it's always going to feel like it's lacking something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like 100%. It's not like 100% guarantee that you are going to sit down and make something that you are going to like. And as a matter of fact, the less you're reading, the less sense it's going to have. Yeah. God damn it. I'm scared that I'm getting sick. Like I'm feeling that I have kind of like a fever. I can feel that I'm coughing. My voice gets raspy over time. My nose gets stuffy. I don't want to be sick, not now. At least December. Yeah, you might have a fever, yeah. Like, I'm actually sitting here and my radiator is set to 3. It's never set to 3. It's usually set to like 1 dot before 1, so it's usually set to half. But like, without that, it's like cold. I don't know why. It's just cold. For where I am, it's so hot. Bro, I would kill for having like constant hot weather. I prefer hot weather. I prefer when it's hot. Like, at least in December having like 20 degrees Celsius. Or like slightly below that, like 19, 18. I'd rather be cold and melting my fucking ass off. I don't like the heat, I see. Let's exchange the weather. Give me all the heat you want. It's actually going to start snowing here soon. Like, there were already like people talking about the fact that they are going to, like, that it's going to be like snowing in couple days. Yo, snow, yeah, we've already had first snow. It doesn't snow here, bro. I don't see it, sadly. Oh. Like, to be fair, like, it's been already snowing before in Poland. It was already snowing this month. So it wasn't even December, it was snowing, but it was like above 0, so the snow was like, it gathered and it started to melt, so it kind of just turned into mush. It's actually the worst mush because like it's like semi-cold, so like when the snow is melting, the mud is there for like a really long time, and actually it can destroy a lot. Hi Kazuhiko, got over here, how are you, hoping it's going? I believe this is the first incident, so hope you find a coffee corner here, how are you? Hey, let's go. We're almost done with Burnice 2. I knew Burnice is going to be way easier to draw. I just knew it. So how is it going? How is it going? I'm just... Actually, I'm wondering what I'm going to do after the stream. I'm usually saying what I'm going to do after the stream and I'm ending up just sitting down and watching YouTube. I'm good, how are you? Doing good, doing good. Do you like drawing, Kazuhiko? Yeah, that's so cool. What do you like to draw? Is there anything of your preference, like OCs or other things? Personally, I just love drawing my OC. Myself, as you can see. ACC. That's so cool. For how long you've been drawing for? For me, it's actually over 10 years. Like almost 20. Bro. Imagine. I think 20 years is a long time, yeah. It's like I've been drawing since I was 6. I'm almost 25 now. So like we are literally 18 years deep. Wow, old joke. It's okay. I know I'm old. I'm always making fun out of it. I'm 25, single, and ready to mingle. Wink wink. uh. So why is there a big cake on the screen? Because we are drawing a Zenless Zone Zero illustration of Burnice and Piper, and Burnice is currently like in the mid-air, like straight up, like she, like here's the Piper being like that, and freaking looking from the side view, Burnice is kind of like this. She's like straight up just in the air. You know, like running on the person, jumping, hugging them, and like just turning around on around their neck with their neck until you hear snap, which might be quite fast. Do you like Zenless Zone Zero? Actually, who of you like Zenless Zone Zero? Chat? Come on. I'm actually thinking about making one illustration, so I really want to hear you out if you like this game or not, because I'm not sure if I should get into drawing more illustrations. Okay, almost done with the blocks. If we're going to be done with those, we might actually be able to complete this illustration still today, at least for the characters. Yeah. Yay, yay. So, to be fair, I'm thinking like about how to say this? I'm thinking about getting a I'm thinking about, after completing this illustration, of course, I'm thinking about starting the last member of our first team for the artistic universe, which is Team Broken Light. And the character we're supposed to draw would be Nathaniel. Because so far we've got Arya, we've got Azura, we've got Kool-Aid, and we want to complete Nathaniel, which is like the last character from the team. Love those. You can still kind of see how much my style changed over time between all of it. So we are going to make some OCs later on. So after finishing that, we are going to focus on making last OC. And I love the posings. This is actually one of the things I was also trying to get in while explaining my my road of designing the characters. Like, for example, posing also matter a lot. Like, it gives a lot of like behavior the viewer to see them. Come on. I have absolutely no idea what happens. It seemed like my OBS just stroke out, but it shouldn't. So we're going to actually make more characters because it's like first team, right? And here's why I'm making my artistic universe. I want to make like a set of OCs for which I could actually draw like a story-driven illustrations, just to not use like someone else's characters, for example, right? Like, let's say characters of Zenless Zone Zero and stuff. Because of course it's going to have its own impact, right, on the artwork. We already know those characters, etc., but I want to have something of my own. And who knows, maybe making like a one-shot mangas, like for example one-shot webtoons, like each chapter is going to be about a different team and about different stuff going on with the team. So that's that. And about the manga they've been trying to do, actually this illustration is like the quintessence of my art style, and this is generally like something that I've set up as my goal, which is manga illustration made from start to finish, with like established style and like driven to the end with like me feeling good about this illustration. So like I've set a goal that I would have to make a manga illustration that I would be 100% happy with, and this is the moment where I could think of like start getting back to making my comic book. And this is exactly this illustration. Every single beat is something I like. Like the characters are not flat, they are not like rigid, they have like rolls of like skin and fat, for example. They have like very specific like facial expressions, movements. There's like a lot of different perspective moments, perspective additional stuff, right? So generally speaking, I enjoy every single bit of this illustration, and I want this whole thing to actually be the end goal that I've established for myself, to actually get to making my comic book that I've promised to make. And this is actually the moment where it's going to happen. So I'm really happy for that. I'm really happy for that, because finally I'll be getting to it. After a really long time. Really darn long time. I'm glad you're able to do it now, yeah. Like, previously, the first thing wasn't really cool. And you could see I was still kind of trying to do everything. I'm now, like, you know, on Ko-Fi, I've said that I'm going to, like, post updates on my projects. The issue is that I haven't really been able to do much for those projects. So now the question is, what possibly is causing that? And the answer is kind of easy, I would say. This is just, you know, I've kind of took too much on my plate, and I'm now trying to chew through all of it. So that's that. Yeah, because we have the video game, we have so we have video games, we have comic books, we have like different illustrations, character designs and stuff on streams. Like, of course, there are going to be the streams where I'm going to sit down and we are just going to work on my comic book, for example. Like, I'm going to pick what I can do without spoilers, and I'm just going to do it. Right? So you are not going to, for example, know what the character are going to say, you are not going to know what exactly is going to happen in the chapter and stuff. But we are just going to, for example, take care of like very random, so to say, very random pages that are just going to be there. But yeah, I want to actually, on my Ko-Fi, get back to making postings, because, like, you know, I want this to be fully operatable again and give people possibility to think that it's of a value. I do have already a subscription there, and I feel so bad because I'm not really updating anything there yet. I've wrote like I'm writing, like, you know, promises that, hey, soon we are kicking off with everything, yada yada yada, and like, when this soon is going to happen, it's like I'm starting to get mad at myself. Not to say like what people have to feel seeing me writing once again, it kind of seems like a scam or something. But I do promise, like, it is there. Also, like becoming a Patreon? Yeah, like Patreon on Ko-Fi. You can actually receive a special code to get a discount on commissions for me. So as long as you're a subscriber on there, you actually get like, I think 25% off on any anything. It's like a permanent one, so you can actually order God knows how many different artworks, and you can just use this code and you are going to receive 25% off. Yeah, it's like a permanent one, as long as you are a, like, yeah, as long as you are a subscriber. So like, even though I'm not really doing that, my commissions are still up and running, so if someone wants to commission me, that's that. And also the subscription is like $1, literally $1 USD. This was the lowest that Ko-Fi allowed me to go. There's no other stages, just straight up $1 thing, and that's that. So that's that. I'm actually planning to move from Streamlabs to something else that would allow people to actually use different methods of payment, because everyone has like their own like things they can do. Like, for example, some people still have those like burner phones or whatever. So they have like cards that they have to charge with cash to operate on them, right? That they have to like register on their names, and they have like crap load of cash on there because they are not using it much. And generally they can make like a donations. Unfortunately, my YouTube is below 500 subscribers and I don't have 3k watch time, 3,000 hours in watch time. What does it mean is that I'm not eligible to actually give people a chance to become a member and send me donations in form of super chats. And super chats actually are really popular among people because, for example, they can use this method of payment, right? Like, use up this like charged cash on their phones because it's just, you know, backlogging there for no reason and they have nothing to do with it, right? So I do want to do something that people would actually be able to have this comfort and be able to like give the support they want. Like, of course, as always, like, as much support as insane is always the fact that you're here, right? Because like overall, like, of course, donos are cool, but just the pure means that they can talk with you is worth than any cash. So, you know, I'm really happy that people are coming in and asking straight away for this, because that only gives me the hope that, you know, the YouTube can actually become some sort of a way to run my life on the passion I have. For example, like, you know, I've never been thinking about doing YouTube for cash or anything like that. I just want people to see my passion and share this passion, you know? I'm really happy that I can sit down after really long day at work and just talk with you. I'm happy that I can just sit here right now, even without that hard day at work, and still talk with you. You know? That's sweet. So that's the general concept, general idea. It's just, you know, I'm getting asked about things that I'm so far not capable to provide, so at least I want to give alternatives for people. Okay, the black colors are done, so now we have very huge majority for this. For any of this, which is the white spikes on her leather jacket, and highlights, and the red parts and stuff. So let's actually get the shadow on these. Hell yeah. I could never do art like this. I get annoyed even at liner, let alone coloring. To be fair, it's just a matter of time. I remember when, you know, when I was like starting, for example, it was really difficult for me to get around like so many different things, you know, like shading, lighting, freaking line art, even coming with ideas was really difficult for me. So basically it just requires time. I do believe that you can, with time, you can actually become a really good artist. Remember that actually when you are progressing, other people are also progressing. Just, you know, I can compare now my older drawing from like start of the start of this thing. For me, it depended on the brushes I use. Getting the right one made it fun and a lot easier to do those kind of things. I see. Yeah, sometimes it's also like, you know, your tool set, right? Like I really love the tool set I have right now, which is just like, you know, simple one round brush, which is like constantly running on a how to call it, on a 50% opacity, and it's just helping me shading, lightening, doing absolutely anything, because I'm actually doing every single thing that I'm, you know, doing for drawing with no issues whatsoever. So like, if you ever like wondered what brush set I'm using, I'm not using any brush set, it's just one brush. Two if we count eraser. That's why you can see me, for example, doing couple strokes on the line art. I use like at least 7 different brushes in one drawing, sometimes more depending. I was doing that too, but like I couldn't really find brushes that were really helping me much. And like I've noticed that I've liked one brush which was like also 50% opacity and like blending brush for like just straight up painting, for the oil painting style, because it was the style I've picked a liking of. And for manga and anime style, which is like the one I'm using right now, I've had like huge troubles with getting this brush to work. And I've been looking around, asking people, and someone said, oh yeah, you like, if you want to use this kind of style and like this kind of methods, just go for like, just look up Rino Tuna. And I've looked up his works and I've like checked a lot of things connected with it, with this artist, and like, oh, this is an artist that is using one brush, and his style is literally using the same methods that you are using for realistic drawing. It's just literally what I wanted to go for, like straight up. So I've looked through stuff, I've bought even his course on Colossal, and I've just looked into so many like different VODs of his streams too, and here we are. Like, I found the brush that he's using. It's literally called Rino Tuna brush. You can find it on Clip Studio Paint store if you are using Clip Studio Paint. So yeah, that's that. That's actually this. That's actually that. And I have to say, I haven't had any troubles ever since. I'm just sitting, drawing. That's that. Like, that's cool though. Yeah, it is. I do have to say. So also, from experience, I can tell you that sometimes you just need to find a proper artist to reference from. To be fair. So depending on your style, you can look up different artists that are like kind of going for the same style, and you can look up like what kind of brushes they're using and stuff. And I can assure you, if this is actually the same style you are going for, you're going to find the same brush set as useful as this artist. Like straight up, it's just going to fit well. Like for Clip Studio Paint, it's really difficult to get the brush that Rino Tuna has, because it's just Photoshop round brush. Rino Tuna is not using any like custom brush or whatsoever. It's just straight up like the very normal round brush from Photoshop. The issue is that Photoshop actually can give you possibility to change the opacity to 50%. So I found someone actually taking the round brush of Clip Studio Paint and unlocking everything that you can, and actually like switched the opacity to 50, and that's this. That's literally that, nothing else. So okay, I've had a lot of trouble with brushes since most of sensitivity based, and since I'm on mouse and keyboard I can't use them. So having multiple brushes can kinda help get the effect across at least. That's true. But here's the trick actually that I've learned with drawing, like with mouse and keyboard. Let's say you want to shade a ball, right? Or you can just use this with like anything that you want. Let's get this like really bright. Okay, no, my eyes are hurting. Okay, kinda. Let's use this. I'm going to take shadow now. I'm using the gradient with like opacity. Let's say it goes like here, right? Right. Now let's pick the base. Let's get light. And the light is of course going to be really weak. It's going to go like from here. So we are now picking the shadow. We are making the shadow even darker, and you want to use the polyline tool. Right? And now what what is going to be so special for this? We're just going to go over everything, and now you can pick, for example, this. You're taking the brighter one, and you can now just, you know, shade it separately like this. You can now pick up portion and just gradient that bitch to the oblivion like that, for example, right? Of course you would need to spend far more time on stuff, but you can see that you can actually receive like really cool thing without any brushes, but actually just some quality of life tools that you can receive from, let's say, Clip Studio Paint or any other software that actually you can draw on. Like straight up, I haven't played around with gradients yet. I'll definitely try it. Yeah, I do recommend. It's really cool. Just look, it's out of nowhere we are starting to have like freaking like lines, like bending lines on clothing, you know? It's like definitely helping you, going to help you with many different conundrums that using mouse is actually going for. But I do recommend getting a first graphic tablet. It's not really that expensive. It's like, what, 50 bucks, maybe even less. For very basic thing. For very basic graphic tablet. Just the only thing that you'll have to kind of get used to is the way how it works. So you are not going to see anything directly on the graphic tablet, because like the cheapest option that I've mentioned, like 40 bucks or less, it's actually the one without the LCD. So you want to kind of get used to the way how you are, like, you know, moving around and looking directly on the screen, right? So it's like you will have to train your coordination. I've started to actually buy the LCD screen tablets after a certain time, and here we are after all. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to get one, aiming for one for Christmas. Hey, that's really cool. That's really cool. To be fair, I've had like a dream that I've, for one thing, I really wanted to get a thing. So here's the stuff, right? So the general idea I was always trying to aim for is was like trying to get a really nice full like artistic setup, right, for traditional art. So I've said, like, listen, I don't want much for Christmas, like the song goes, actually. You know, so here's the thing, I don't want much for Christmas, but there are a couple things that I want, and it's all like in one, and I don't really need a split. Like, you can, like, folks could just, you know, throw in however they could and see if they could, like, you know, afford this. It wasn't really that expensive. Like, so here's the setup. I wanted to have a sketchbook which was like A3, right? A3 sketchbook. I wanted to have like a desk thingy. like, you know, holding canvas and stuff. I do have a desktop one. Because I've got this set after all. I like set of pencils, and that was it. That was the entire setup. And I've actually received it. It was like a one set generally, and you know, it was cool. I was using it. After finishing the A3 sketchbook, I've got a first graphic tablet. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So like, if you really aim for one, you can just straight up tell them like, hey, I just want this. Like, I don't know, you could, like, I don't need anything else for Christmas, just this, right? So I do still, if someone really wants to get into a traditional art, right? You know, the typical traditional art, I do recommend this setup. It's really helping a lot. Because like A3 is giving you a lot of space on canvas that you are drawing, and with good paper you can even use like paints on it. I've actually found a acrylic paint set with some gesso and really nice papered sketchbook, and I actually want to use acrylic paints on my sketchbook. So yeah. If mainly you want to draw now, so yay, I did end up finding inspo. So happy to hear this. I still remember how I've spent like countless hours like training my coordination on my first graphic tablet. It was pain. Well, actually, a lot of my problems were also coming from the fact that the softwares I were using were not compatible with my graphic tablet. Trave were not compatible with. No idea really why and what's up. Just didn't. Oh well. The conundrums of life. I am actually really feeling nice talking so much about like art related topics, to be fair. Yeah, okay. Right, because some hairs are actually getting in there, so I need to... draw it like this. Perfect. So yeah, I have still a couple games that I'm going to play. I do want to play freaking whole Yakuza series. I've kind of fell off from playing Black Myth Wukong. Probably I'm not going to really know how to play this game anymore, so I might need to restart the entire thing. But it was already so far, I was like... Here's the thing, every single portion I wanted to actually play a... I wanted to play the entirety of this... of the thing. How's it called? I wanted to play the entirety of the chapter on the first go, so like no coming backs, right? So like I wanted to gather up every single bit that I can get from there. So like everything, single soul, every single like other thing, and basically because like there are things that if you won't really finish, you are not capable to get again. So like you have every single chapter you have to be 100% sure that you've got everything, because you never know what is really like lost after going to another chapter. Of course, probably there are already maps, so I'm going to check what exactly I'll need and just I can rush through. But actually I found the game being really easy. I mean easy, like considerably easier. Considerably? What? Far more easier doing those things on the go, because I'm getting way more things before going to the last boss, and actually it allows me to, you know, just be better while struggling with those bosses and stuff. And I shouldn't be really that far behind, it's just like a matter of sitting down and clicking mouse, and you know, I just know exactly what I need to do. So yeah. I also have the entirety of the Yakuza series. I have the that I want to play along with the Judgment. I don't have like a dragon though. I might want to play this one later on, but it's turn-based one, which I don't really like. I prefer the full-on action RPGs. So yeah, I might not really want to play it. You know, the Like a Dragon series, but we'll see. For the pure sake of just finishing the whole series, I might. Not sure though. Man, can you imagine actually, like, I've been struggling so long to sit down and complete this entire thing, and we might actually finish the characters today. That's so cool. I wonder how many streams we've actually spent on it. It has to be like a lot. I'm going to actually count it when we'll finish the illustration. But so far it has to be also really a lot. Like the most streams we've had for one illustration it was like 12. I already feel like we've had just as much, and we are still not done yet. Man, I really wish I could like get that DTP graphic designer job. I could finally like, you know, I think you can do it. I mean, you know, I do feel like I have abilities. There's just something I am lacking that I can't really put my finger on. Like something that is constantly like making it nearly impossible to get. I'm of course still going, even if I'm not going to get it, I'm still going to like try to like apply to other jobs. It's just, you know. It's just a bit difficult to even rethink about a couple things, you know? I get that, but hey, I think if you did get the job, you'd do great. Thank you. Hmm. Tomorrow I'm actually going to still look around. We'll see. I'm also waiting for the mail from the guy. I'm, you know... I have to be patient, even though I'm not. I have to be patient. Like withdrawing. If you are patient, you are capable to do much. And this is actually the amount of strings we've put already in this illustration. Is a living proof of it. Yeah, wait for good things, yeah. Exactly. Okay. That one works, surprisingly, when it comes to the method. I just don't want to make it look like a nipple. This is what I'm hoping for. Oh. It's actually more or less how you would also make a nipple, so I'm just hoping that it's not going to look like one. So far it doesn't look like one, so that's good, yeah. Actually. Actually, the stream is already going above 2 hours, so this is the long-awaited, longer stream that I was promising to. Well, let's go. Hi, Eric, glad to be here. How are your brain is going? How have it been? Been a really long time, mate. Been a really long time since I've last seen you. How have you been during that time? Hope you're good. It was fine, but I accidentally twisted my ankle while playing Super Mario Party Jamboree. Really? Damn. Nintendo should pay for your health now. Can we sue Nintendo for that? Nah, JK. I wouldn't. Because they didn't done to me anything. Valid healed, I see. I see. How is Super Mario Jamboree though? I've heard a lot of people like talking trash about this game. Like straight up. For Christmas, I think I'm getting a GameCube controller. I heard that it's good with Super Smash Bros. Yeah, like, I mean, I would say that it's good, or rather better for Super Smash Bros. For people who like already got used to this thing, but actually it has far more things that you can use for this game. Like, for example, the bumpers can be pressed like halfway too, which is not something that any gamepad right now can do without, like, let's say PS5 for example, right? Christmas. I'm actually slowly receiving finally the packages for Christmas. I've got the Polaroid camera for my sister. I've got 2 figurines for my brother. I've got how to say this? I've got a golden brooch for my mother. Not sure what to buy to my dad. My dad. She told me she'll leave me if I'll if I won't stop if I won't stop making the Borat impressions. Who said that? My life. Okay, a question. What's your favorite Mario game? Mine's I think is Galaxy 1 or Sunshine or NSMB Wii. I see. To be fair, I don't really play I haven't played much of the Super Mario games. This is literally the moment where I'm starting to talk with using memes. While using memes? I don't know. Okay. Oh shit, let's get a little bro, I'm sorry. It's okay, it's okay. Take care. Take care. See ya next time. Oi, Mario time. Okay. Now the part that I despise. For all of the leather. Because it's also really not capable to be done with intuition. Hmm. Yeah, that's why I've actually hated it so much. I've reminded myself that it's actually one of the steps that has to be done when I've like zoomed out and I was like, hey, we done? Oh wait, we are not. It's actually a leather. So leather is really messed up because it's shiny, right? But it's not like metal shiny, it's just shiny. So yeah, there's so many different things now that I have to add here with highlights that I absolutely despise and I just want to off myself. Perfect. Rip, yeah. We'll be resting in pepperoni real soon. Okay, that's that one point is actually something that I'm absolutely scared of because it's literally directed into the point where the light comes from, so we'll be fucked if anything would happen. Yep. Okay, I think now we'll be Gucci. Wait, isn't that... Yeah, that's actually everything. We just need to now color her hairs. Holy... Oh my... Yeah, that's straight up the only part that needs to be done now. Her hairs will be done with the characters already. Jesus, finally. I think the bugness is not going to take as much as the characters themselves. I swear to God, that's too much. That's really too much. Okay, folks. So, yeah, like straight up, this is the only last beat that we needed to actually be done for the outfit, and the last only beat that we'll need is going to be Burnice's hers. I think we can actually do this in the very next stream, which, because it's not really going to take much, but we're going to start working on the background itself. So yeah, I think that's going to be actually a good idea to do it. Yeah, okay. Folks, since it's almost 3 hours already, thanks Ghostly, thanks Dad, and thanks Eric for being active in the chat on Twitch. Thanks Skylar, Kimo, Target, Dad, Kazuhiko for being active in the chat on YouTube. As always, folks, stay creative, and I hope to see you all in the next stream. Take care, and